morning and welcome to another Art Talk. So today's discussion is just about truth within oneself, really just following your own truth. And why I bring this up is because this is something that I feel is very important with a lot of different artists trying to discover that. We see so many different artists doing so much great stuff, you know. We look at their skill level and we go like, good God, man, how could I ever do that where I am? I'm at the certain level in my career. I'm maybe starting late, which is a very common thing. There's a lot of artists out there that get a later start. They have other things that happen in their life and they start to wonder, you know, how can I do this? How can I compete? So it becomes this whole idea of competition and competing against other people. And, you know, this is what happens. Of course, I'm not going to lie, getting into the studios, it is competitive in the sense where the people with the skill level are the ones that are going to get the job. So your goal is to find that skill that works for you and try to get that position, but knowing what that skill is, what's required of these certain positions in the studio. Because here's the thing, we're looking at websites, we're looking at people's Tumblrs, Facebook, Instagram, to go, how am I going to do this? So I say to you, the most important thing is just to find your real truth and find your calling, and maybe you just don't have to get that good being as great as that specific artist that they can draw portraits to no tomorrow, or they can do just in these insane lighting and renderings and landscapes, you know, or just, I don't know, you name it. You're just like, holy moly, man, that's not me. What I say is try it. See if it's something that starts to feel a little natural. If it's not feeling natural and you're resisting it, well, just don't do it. I've talked about this in other art casts before, where I've tried experimenting with many different things. And I, in all honesty, just got myself to a level where I was starting to be accepted, where my design style is just very simple. I don't do over-render. I don't do comic book type work. I don't do, you know, real extreme renderings of things. It's just not what I do. And I've been fortunate that I followed what was feeling natural to me. And it started with the caricature, and it eventually started to lead into character design. And I was drawing the characters, and I was just using my line, and I learned how to do things, and I learned the character design process, which was important, doing all the, you know, designer stuff. And that seemed to work. And more I got jobs, and people called me, and I led from one studio to the next. And, you know, I worked hard, and I would get tests, and people would have me try something, and I worked hard on those tests. And that's what I did. And eventually I kept getting those jobs. But it all had to deal with what I was doing. I wasn't being forced to draw things that I wasn't comfortable with. Like I don't draw environments. That's just not my thing. So I don't do it. All I do is the, you know, character design. So following your truth and what you're natural at is good, but you also got to be distinctive. So you want to try to stand out. Learn the foundation, learn techniques, learn the principles, learn the fundamentals, and then you branch out on your own and you create your own voice. You do your own thing, and that's what is very important. So learning that foundation is essential, but you can't just copy other people, because then you become just a clone of them, and you're not going to get the sort of work that you want. You know, you may, if they say, hey, we can't afford this guy, we'll get you instead. Sure, that can happen. So the big thing that I would really suggest is really honing in on that thing that is just unique to you. Recently, I do through my website on silvertunes.com, I offer a mentorship program where I meet with people. I schedule time, and I try to do it in, you know, cost effectively for people, and just trying to set up the times and work with different people. And there was one guy that I was just talking to. We have these conversations, and I was looking at his work, and he was telling me that he wanted to, you know, get into the animation industry. This was his goal, what he wanted to do. And I'm looking through his work, and I'm very honest with people. I'm looking at his work, and I'm just like, Man, and this guy was, he's been around. He hasn't worked professionally, but, he's probably in his late 40s, early 50s. I don't ask people their age, but, it's not a young guy. He's not in his 20s. And so now he wants to get into the industry doing this, and I just didn't feel like, God, I just felt, you're going to have so much work to do. I mean, why do this to yourself, in all honesty? You got so much work. You're talking dedicating the next 10 years. Well, you don't want to do that. Working and getting good takes a long time. There is no magic formula. There's no secret pill. There's no, like there are pills for other things. There's no secret pill. There's no pixie dust. And I knew that it was going to take him a while. And I'm looking through his work, and I'm just seeing this artwork that he was doing that just really stood out to me. That was really distinctive, because he wants to do children's books. Yet he's saying, I want children's books, but I want to get in the animation, but I've been doing the children's books. I like doing that too, because I think it's important. I ask people what it is they want to do. What is their true desire? And looking through this work, I saw, man, this is really your distinction. This is where you're at. You need to follow this. This is what you need to do. And I really felt strongly about that. And that's what I've led him to do. And that's what I mentored him to do. And that's what I kept telling him to keep doing, and how to reset up his portfolio and how to set things up, just to show, because that's what I think he should do. So I've encouraged him to create his own children's book, do it in this distinctive style, which I thought was distinctive. And that's going to be his calling. And I know that someday, again, it's not going to happen overnight, but in a year or two, if he stays committed and puts this together, he's going to have his stuff out there, and he's going to look back and say, thank God, I went this direction. It's fulfilling to me. I wasn't chasing something that was so out of the unrealistic. And that's why I feel a lot of people sometimes are chasing that unrealistic dream. And dream, I'm just saying, you got to really know, and does it feel natural, and really follow your truth. So that's today's art talk. Thanks again for following. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for watching every Monday as I'm doing this. But thanks again for everything. All right, take care, and I'll talk to you next week.